A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Raheem. Atiyullah, Atiya Rasul, ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself and Abdul Ajis, da'if, miskeen, zalim, jahal. Remember for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence. Alhamdulillah, a reminder for our lives and for myself that Mawlana describes Sayyidina Jalaluddin al-Rumi that we have three types of companions in life. Yaar is deeper than a friend, but if we understand its reality we go into how it affects our relationships, our relationship with the shaykh and our relationship with Sayyidina Muhammad. That we have Yaar Naani, Yaar Zabani wa Yaar Jaani, from the Jaan. And in life these are the realities of the friends and the companions we keep in life. The companion of Naani, they occupy our lives for something that they want, where Mawlana describes naan like the crumbs, they come for a barakah, they come for something, they come for money, for rizq, for opportunities, and describes that give to them their naan and send them on their way. The second category of friendship in our lives come Yaar Zabani, that they are the friends that are only to the benefit of the tongue. They say they love you, they say they're with you, but in reality it's just by tongue. But be loving to them as they're loving to you. And the most important Yaar, Yaar Jaani, the one whom comes and gives their heart and soul to you and describes then, give your heart and soul to them. And as a result of this understanding, because the tariqah is teaching these and these poetries that these awliya come to give, it's like a summation of all the teaching. That in our lives people surround us in these categories, those that… As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That want something, so give them what they want, and that's the extent of the relationship. Then people whom say by their tongue that they are with us, and the extent of their love is only through the tongue. And what the tariqah is teaching and from the heart of Prophet is the one that counts is Yaar Jaani, min Janaman, the one whom from my soul, who loves me with their soul, their heart, their entire wujood, and you give back to your heart and soul to them. And this is the poetry of faith in action, because in our lives we have to identify people around us. We want a lot from people, we expect a lot from people, but awliyaullah are reminding us there are different categories of people that come around. You know, the birds, they come for the crumbs, they hope something falls off and they can take it. So People whom are coming for something, then give them something, send their on their way, because there absolutely won't be any help for you, they just want to come to take something. So those are not people whom you put your effort and your nazar upon. Then the one whom coming only by lisan, that they profess that they love you, like you, with you, and they describe, be kind to them and loving to them, but know that they're not going to be with you and they're not going to support you, they're just with you. And you say, okay, alhamdulillah. But Yaar, Jaani means that they give their heart and soul to you, and as a result you give your heart and soul to them. Now this in our lives, when we understood this, then we don't have so many emails complaining about everything. Oh, I lost this dog took this. But that person was Naani, this person was in your life, you probably clearly knew they were coming for something, they got it, left, Allah sent them away. The one whom is by tongue and you know there's no action, that's why the awliya are trying to ask us faith in action. Because now in our personal lives we'll use that to identify the relationships we have with people. Is that, are they Naani? Are they Zabani just by lisan and tongue, or are they Jaani? Those are very rare, that the heart and soul with you, that you could call them for immense difficulty and you know that they would be there. Those have to be tried and tested, because that's not a station that is easily attained or achieved, although everyone says they're that station but they're barely lisani. Then when it comes to the tariqah, once we identified it in our lives, then the tariqah more so because of the immensity of its barakahs. And this is about our love and being true, that when Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq as-Salam described within the heart of awliyaullah, sadaqal mutlaq is be true to your love. Don't make your love about Naani or what you can get from somebody, and take your love from the station of lisan to Jaani. You say you love but you have to have an action. The action shows the jaan and the nearness, because when somebody sacrifices their time, their effort, their sustenance, everything, they put their heart and soul into it. So this is the power of understanding relationships, and why awliya are coming to us and teaching that put your faith in action. And others saying, don't provide any action, you don't have to provide any action for anyone, is false. Our whole life is about actions, and our whole life is about true love. Siddiqul Mutlaq Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq is reminding in our lives that be true to love. And people who thought they loved and they vanish, and the reality of love from its haqqaiq is that when your love is true and your love is been tested and tested and tested, Allah must grant your love a sincerity. It's not we that claim ourselves to be sincere and that our love is sincere. Ikhlas only comes from Allah. When the love of a servant is sincere, Allah grants a sincerity, then they become sincere. The characteristic of a sincere love is forbearance and patience, sabr jameel. Because Allah puts the sincerity within the hearts of the servant. As a result, they have a tremendous forbearance and patience in that love, because the characteristic Allah gives to them is overlook the fault and exaggerate the benefit. This now from the status of the servants of Allah, that their Yaar, Jaani and their way of love, when Allah granted an acceptance of their love, granted them a sincerity, and as a result of this attribute of sincerity they overlook the faults and focused on all of the benefits. That whatever they went through in life, tremendous amount of faults with whomever they loved, and because of the sincerity of their love, Allah put within their hearts that don't look to the fault because you have faults yourself. Focus on what that person did for you. They raised you, they enriched you, they gave you all of akhirah, connected you to all the heavens, all of these realities, and as a result of that sincere love it can't be broken. It's bonded like a permanent bond. This is the real ishq and muhabbat, where the faults they become so minuscule because we all have faults. But Allah says, no, focus on what the benefit of what you receive from that love, be true to that love, and it bonds deep within the roots of your soul and it can't be broken. Those who come and vanish and thought they had love and talk through their tongue they have love, but they never achieved love, and Allah never granted them sincerity. Sincere love cannot be broken, not by fault. It's a bond that Allah puts upon the soul. That's why dunya nobody achieves that. The dunya people try to find it within each other, but this is the way of awliya, because the heart of awliya emit a light from the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, and the jism and the wujood of that person, it's like a barrier, but the true light emanating from them is the light of Muhammadun Rasulullah. When they bond with that light, it's the perfection of Sayyidina Muhammad that bonds into their heart, permanent bond. And the imperfections of the physicality of a person seem insignificant and they fall out of the eyesight and the vision of that spiritual soul, because it's the light of Prophet that they're bonding with. This is the oceans of sincere ishq and muhabbat. And in our lives as we're trying to make our relationships, because we come to the tariqah to understand how to love Prophet, how to love the shaykh with heart and soul. As a result also how to understand the relationships in our physical environment. When we understand the system, then we understand how this bond is to be made. That in our lives when we come to the tariqah, and those who've been in the tariqah, the danger before reaching sincere love, because everyone you ask them, "Yeah, no, I'm sincere love," is that you leave because of shaitan's activities. Shaitan comes to people before they've been granted sincerity, where Allah now steps in, makes the bond to be firm. The shaitan comes to people and says, "You're great, it wasn't him, everything opened because your cleverness." And Mawlana Shaykh would often teach us, remember where you came from so you don't get fooled where you're going. What door did you come from? What condition were you in when you came? that all that opened for you was not from you, was from the shaykh. If the shaykh is bad, how did all that open to you? All those children in your living room, all the life that has happened to you. Shaitan comes to fool you that that was from you, and then people walk away, say, I don't need it anymore, and they never reach sincere life. And this reality of ishq and muhabbat in Allah's way, not the dunya way, it has to be given a sincerity through testing and testing and testing. But the most important is what condition were you in when you came? If you're true to yourself, you remember, oh I was in the basement, oh I was in a place that was leaking on my head every day, I was here, I was out, I was all sorts of difficulties. Everything that happened in our lives, remember it and don't let a day come where you forget it. And as a result of understanding where you came from, where we came from, we understand where we're going. If for a moment I forget where I came from, what difficulty I was in, the state of being lost, all of the confusion in my life, to being in a situation where all these realities opening, it's not from my cleverness but from the grant of my shaykh, his ishq and his muhabbat, and Allah granting a sincerity upon the soul in which the soul is looked upon his soul, and every goodness came from that door and every badness came from my own actions. This becomes immense in the people of tafakkur. That's why the people who say, there's no need for tafakkur, they lost the tariqah, they're not even representing the tariqah anymore if you talk like that, because tariqah is all about the reflection. It's about reflecting and contemplating that, what is my state of love? What is the state of my heart and my conditions, my loyalty? And what is it that I'm coming for? Am I coming for a piece of bread? Am I coming just to say something through my tongue but I don't provide any actions for the state that I'm claiming and the love that I think I have? Or no, I'm coming to bond my heart and soul. If that's the case, don't forget where you came from. The water leaking on your head every day and sitting in the basement and nothing ever opening, and then turning around and say, oh I have a whole family and all of them being enriched by this reality. If this was a bad shaykh, how did all this open? But this is the games of shaitan, because if you negate the shaykh then you're saying it was you. If it was you then you're like Pharaoh, and you see those people walk away. So how can you walk away from that which you love? And this is a eternal love, a love that represents the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad, means you weren't granted sincerity. Now say, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to find a different gentleman with a turban. That doesn't happen twice. Allah say, you didn't stay long enough to be sincere with this one. What do you think, we're opening it is like a candy store, you just walk down the street and keep finding different one? It's a lifelong process. That's when we described, and your question from the night before came, that is it really I'm a one or nuqt that I found the tariqah? Definitely not a one, because pharaonic people don't see the tariqah. Remember the vision of a person who thinks they're one on this earth, when they look out everything is a dot. They don't see the Divine, they don't see a divine path, they don't believe in even a hereafter. But the one who is being crushed is looking for the one. That's why when we go back and say, oh it seemed like when I was coming tariqah I was definitely being crushed. All immense amounts of difficulties, and we don't have a day in which we don't remember that. They're definitely being crushed and begging for the one, Ya Rabbi, if you're out there guide me, if you help me, bring me to a greater reality and a greater purpose. Some more powerful than others, usually because their calling is much stronger, that Allah knocked their one into dust. Some people get their one smashed slowly over time, in which they begin to see and hope for some sort of clarity, some sort of spiritual channel. Some people say, we've come through your channel 10 times. But as my life became more difficult, I started to realize, oh, I'm going to start watching. That can be greatly unfortunate for you because it could take a long time. Those whom Allah smash quickly, they have to reach quickly, because the only way up when you're down, everything is to rise, but when you are up the only way is to go down. But when Allah take you down quickly, you immediately begin to see the heavens, want to be with the heavens and seek out that which is real. And as a result of that discussion last night, then it's the haqqaiq of our Yaar, that what is this companionship? And the people around, they think each other as Jaani. But that's why the path is based on focus on yourself. Don't have to worry about who came and who went, just see if you're one of those Jaani in which you're going to give your jaan, your heart and your soul to the path. Because nobody knows if the other person is Naani and this person coming for something, some sort of something, some bread, some crumb, some reality that they want to take and run. And the vast majority are through Zaban. They profess to love the tariqah, that you don't count them for anything. They barely support the Mawlid al-Nabi or any other activity, but alhamdulillah they're kind, so we're kind with them. The nazar comes on Jaani. If we understood this in our lives, then we know who to put our effort in. So you don't put your effort on somebody who's coming for your naan, he's going to take your money and go. He's not your best friend, he's coming for your naan, for your bread, that's it. Then we understood for our shaykh, oh I want to be Jaani. Am I a person who's just lisani? If you're sitting on the couch, you don't make a single comment, you don't participate in any events, you don't participate in anything, definitely you're lisani. Because you didn't give your heart and soul to that, you gave your heart and soul more to your family and your children than to the way of Prophet. So then this clarifies for my shaykh, what relationship do I want? If I want to be lisani then stay the way is lisani. If I want to be Jaani through my heart and soul, then it has to be with action. Now our relationship with Prophet. And then we ask ourselves, am I going to places and everybody making du'a, make du'a, 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 du'a. What they want? They want something from Prophet, because look how they are viewing it through us. That at the door and the threshold of Sayyidina Muhammad, how many people are coming for the naan? A vast majority. They just want something, and if they get it they'll be gone. They get it, they'll be gone. Their problem, they fly out to Medina, problem resolved, you never see them again. Then there are minhum lisani, that the claiming, and this is the vast majority of the nation, oh no, we love Sayyidina Muhammad. They don't even say that, astaghfirullah, they say we love just the first name as if like your buddy. Sayyidina means my master, and we never mention Prophet's name without an immense title. He's not by first name to anyone, it's Sayyidina wa Mawlana wa Habibina Ishwalana. Every type of praise always signifies how sincere and loving you are to the reality of Prophet. So we're not a people that only by lisan that say, oh yes we love, we acknowledge. We want to take ourselves from just by tongue to make our life by action. Unless you're happy with your tongue just being involved in the relationship. But what's important in the path of tariqah, because tariqah is maqam al-ihsan and perfection, and that maqam al-ihsan is every day asking myself about my relationship to Prophet. Is it through my heart and soul, and am I giving my heart and soul into that way to gain his nazar, to gain his love and to gain his companionship. You be with whom you love, and whom you love will always be with you. That's an immensity of ishq and muhabbat. And if you put your heart and soul at the threshold of Prophet, he puts his heart and soul upon you to watch over you, to bless you, shahidan mubashiran wa nadhiran. That Prophet witnesses his nation, that you put your heart and soul at his holy feet, and he is the best of those to return true love, sincere love. That he puts his heart and soul back onto the servant, that he prays upon the servant and continuously inspire within their heart, this is wrong and this is good. Even your heart becomes so subtle, it picks up the vibration when something's wrong, like a burning, like a bell buzzing, don't do that, don't type that, don't write that. Don't do something that would bring a harm to you and your relationship with the heavens. Is this the immensity? So this is the reality of love, on how to reach it, how to nourish it. It's not something that we love and we hate the next day, we love and then we hate the next day. That type of person will never reach sincerity with Allah. Ishq and muhabbat is a bond, is a gift from Allah. We said before, because the shaykh, the role the shaykh plays is diffusing or emitting the lights of Prophet. For the mixture of their own self, of what's left of it, the lights of Prophet come out. It's that very light that you bring into your heart, into your soul and make your bond. The personality of the individual you push down, and then you magnify the beatific Muhammadan light and the love that comes through that light and the bond through the soul with the soul of Prophet. We pray that Allah give us all the greater understanding of ishq and muhabbat and the three companions that continuously occupy our lives, and to understand its reality with the shaykh and understand its reality with the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.